Welcome to Wow Wednesday, the Way of Wisdom series featuring biblical portraits of the women in the Bible. They represent many of the trials and triumphs that women in today's society can identify with and understand. These are desperate women, women with health problems, abused women, and women who are broken and bitter. As we meditate and journey with these women in mind, we gain strength and encouragement as women of God. This is our reflection. What is faith? Faith is a gift that increases with use, and any tendency to play it safe will suffocate the faith we have. Many times, the pathway to our promotion is through commotion. It is said, your affliction or commotion is your promotion. It is a process we embrace to package and to prepare us for our elevation. Our misery can turn into ministry, our mess into a message. Hi, Susan here, the Extra Edge Executive Coach. Wow, woman of worth, you are worth it. Today we are talking about the woman with the issue of blood. The key scriptures are Matthew 9, 20-22, Mark 5, and Luke 8. What was her name? She had no name. She was identified with her condition. Using the tripartite criteria, what was her character like? As we understand her story, this woman was so desperate for healing, she ignored the conversation of the day for the chance to touch Jesus. How about her sorrow? To have suffered a chronic illness that isolated her from others, not for 12 days or 12 months, but for 12 years. Her joy, that after long years of suffering, she finally found peace and freedom. The infirm woman is ill. She's a woman whose trauma has become so all-consuming that she stands alone in the midst of a crowd. She has spent all she has on doctors. She's out of finances, out of friends, and tragically, with her life, blood is flowing out. She is hemorrhaging. The bad news is religion has denied her healing. The rabbinical laws had forbidden her to touch or to be touched. She was living with a roommate of pain in a house of despair. No companionship. She had to be isolated. No hug, no warm touch, no counseling, no church people to visit and offer comfort, no relationship to encourage her and to serve as a sedate to her discomfort. It was a coronavirus case. Keep your distance. When a woman is sick, her whole body wars against her. Against all odds, deep down, her hope refused to be extinguished. Her desire and passion to live refused to die. Yes, she was sick and broken and lonely, but she was a long way from dead. She knew in her innermost being it wasn't over. Her finances were not in agreement. Her family was gone. She was alone and isolated. But in her feminine spirit, a hope that none could hear arose within her. If I may but touch the hem of his garment. This was a woman who was in the court of public opinion. Her private affliction became a matter of public record. Every cup she handled, every chair she sat on, she could transmit defilement to others. She was an outcast, impossible to live even with a husband, bear a child, or enjoy the intimacy of friends and family. This is the game changer. Her moment emerged. She gained courage. It's not what is said about you, one woman, in the court of public opinion that matters. It's not what others say about us that determines a woman's destiny. But what she says about herself, even though hemorrhaging, she kept whispering hope in the depths of her soul. While death was stalking her, she had an if. If I may touch. Wow, woman, no one dies for as long as we are holding on to an if. If we believe and desire that there may be change, change will come. Eve picked her up and caused the bleeding woman to press through the crowd past the disdainful looks and a multitude of a crowd. She got there. The waiting game was over. Wow, woman, what is a woman to do when she's in trouble and God is not looking her way? She refused to be discouraged or distracted. Maybe she could still be made whole. This woman was taking charge of her life. No more standing around hoping someone would get to her. No voice like Jairus, who was waiting to take Jesus to heal her 12-year-old daughter, same age, with the ailment she was suffering from. 12 years. This woman broke protocol. She defied the social dictates of her day, that it wasn't appropriate for a woman to touch a man. In fact, it was forbidden. Wow, woman, this is it. If he won't touch me, then I will touch him. She slipped around the system and touched the hem of his garment. It doesn't matter how much you touch him. It doesn't matter how you touch him, and it doesn't matter where you touch him. It only matters that you touch him. This particular day, Jesus had been touched by a woman the law had declared to be unclean. She touched him with no need for recognition, status, or fame. She had no personal agenda. All she sought was a position on her knees. His virtue came running down, and she got an instant healing. Oh my goodness. Jesus blocked her escape and silenced the crowd with a curious question. Who touched me? Jesus must be joking. People are pushing and shoving. How would you know who touched you? Oh, it was not to shame her. Jesus praised her. Jesus gave her recognition, an identity. She was no longer the woman with the issue of blood, but daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. His touch ended the contagious disease, rendering her pure and whole again. Wow, woman of worth, it's time for the bleeding to stop. Your bleeding will birth purpose. Are you seeking for help from a system or a relationship that can't help solve the problem? Women of today, we have many blood issues, relationship issues, mental health, fibroid, barrenness, abuse and violence, body shaming, and unresolved issues, and so on. The good news is we need an instant healing, and the healer is at hand. How desperate are you to break the status quo, to shatter limitations, and break the barriers to your breakthrough? In conclusion, wow, woman, perhaps you're dealing with insurmountable issues. No matter how badly you're wounded, how sick, how lonely, no matter how many others have pushed past you on the way to the top, keep moving on towards Jesus the healer. And maybe when he heals you, you should go public and let the world know that an unclean woman without a dime in her pocket or a friend to her name can touch a holy God. Wow, woman, let the world know you made it from disgrace to grace. Her deliverance happened inside. She knew within herself that she was healed. She received inner healing. And his touch produces peace and freedom. Let us not suffocate the faith that we already have. Let us reach out and touch the Master. He will heal all our diseases. This is the wow mantra. Wow, woman of worth, you are worth it. Your worth is far above rubies. Put your mind on a VIP mode. It's your red carpet moment. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for safe. Fix your crown. Get up, get over it, and move on. Remember, your purpose is your superpower.